Welcome to 10 Career Questions. My name is Kevin Abnell, and I'm the Executive Director of the York County Alliance for Learning. This video is part of a series of interviews where we speak to various professionals working within each of the 16 nationally recognized career clusters. The purpose of this series is to get to know people working within each career cluster and to help promote a better understanding of various career paths. Resources like this video are intended to help promote career awareness and career exploration as students move closer to making important career decisions. Today, we'll be speaking to someone in the finance career cluster. This career cluster is focused on planning, services for financial and investment planning, banking, insurance, and business financial management. Today's interview is being presented by First Capital Federal Credit Union, and we sincerely thank them for their support. Thanks for being here today. Welcome to 10 Questions, and we're going to jump in with question number 1. What's your name and who do you work for?
Hi, Kevin. Thanks so much for having me today. My name is Sue DeStephano, and I work for First Capital Federal Credit Union.
All right. And Sue, what's your job title there, and what do you typically do? Like, what are you responsible for?
Sure. Thanks. My official title is President CEO. And in my role as CEO of this organization, I have a lot of responsibilities, but I'll go through the list. One of them is to motivate our employees every day and all things that are associated with our credit union culture. This is without a doubt the best part of my job. I love doing this part of my job, motivating our staff and keeping them energized. That's a really, really important task because we do deal with the public, of course. I also oversee our day-to-day operations, which includes lending, branch operations, accounting, HR. HR is another one of my roles. I'm responsible for our benefits package that we offer to our employees. I have to negotiate that every year. I also work with our examiners, the National Credit Union Association. There are our federal examiners, and every year they audit us, of course, and I have to work with them through that process. I manage human resources and day-to-day personnel items, as I mentioned earlier, employee benefits, but just there's human resources items that come up every single day that we have to manage through. Every year I have to put in place our strategic plan along with a team, of course, and our budget, which we have to present to our board every year. And I'm also very involved in our community. I sit on a couple of boards in our York County community through the York County SPCA. I love animals, and it's a great board to be on. And I'm also serving on a couple of boards and committees through the York County Economic Alliance at this time. So a lot of things happening, never a dull moment, that's for sure.
That's great. Yeah, so certainly a lot that you're responsible for just with your organization, but then also a lot of community involvement. So that's great. That's great that you're part of the community like that. Could you describe just the basic industry that you work in, just sort of the financial services industry? I know specifically you're in a credit union, but feel free to speak about that however you'd like.
Sure. I think I can start with one of my favorite mottos, and I have it kind of throughout my office here. I'm sitting here in my office, is do what you love what you do. And I love this phrase so much because I never thought I would be working in the credit union industry for 30 years. And my entire career has been everything credit unions. And I look back and think, gosh, I grew up in this industry. And that's why I love it so much. It's been so rewarding to me. I started off as a loan officer right out of college and making loans for people, whether it's credit cards, car loans, home loans, et cetera. And that was so very rewarding. And I loved being a loan officer. It was a great job, a really fun job. You get to build so many wonderful relationships in the community. You get to find out about their family and their friends and their pets and their children. It was a really, really rewarding experience. And what I really learned quickly in my career was be nice to people, help them with their finances, have them put their trust in you, because finances are very, very personal. And when you follow these simple things, our members, their customers, we call them members, they're going to refer you to their family and their friends. And referrals in this industry are very, very important. If it helps grow our business, and referrals help grow me personally, because if I'm not doing my job, they're not going to refer me. So it definitely helped me grow as well as a loan officer. After being a loan officer for a couple of years, I got involved into management. I was promoted. I was happy about that. It's something I really wanted to do. Was the loan manager for a little while. Then I became the vice president of lending. And then I was promoted again to vice president of operations. In 2015, I was selected as the president and CEO after our longtime CEO decided he was going to retire. So that's a little bit about my career personally, but about the industry in general. Credit unions were created. We're an amazing industry. We are created on the founding principles of people helping people. And it's as simple as it sounds, people helping people. It has guided me my entire career. It really has. We are a fully insured financial institution. We are similar to a bank, except, and this is the important part, credit unions are owned by members. So if it's a member-owned cooperative is what a credit union is all about. So we're definitely unique and we're definitely different than a bank when it comes to that. We seek to we don't make profits like a bank does. We give anything that we make back to our members. So that's sort of what's unique about us. We have a volunteer board of directors. It's just, again, going back to the people helping people concept is at the root of everything that we do. Most of the time, you'll find that credit unions offer savings rates that are better than banks, better loan rates, great promotions, very competitive. We're very competitive, and reduced fees. So we're really excited about that. It feels really good to get up every day and work for an institution that doesn't take advantage of people. We're all about giving back to our community and to our members.
Great. Well, at firsthand experience, I can absolutely attest to everything you just said. So that's that's spot on. I did have just a little follow-up question talking about the different roles you served in. Have you been at First Capital your entire career, or were there different organizations along the road there?
Sure. Credit union, First Capital since 1999. The industry in general has been over 30 years. I was part of a smaller credit union back in 1999 that merged into First Capital. So total time it's been over 30, but it was through a merger. So they were kind enough to honor my years of seniority, so I could say I've been with First Capital for 30 years technically.
Great. I agree with that. So throughout your career, obviously there's probably a lot of on-the-job training, but is there any other kind of specific training or education you've gotten through the years to get to where you are now?
Sure. I'm sorry, I think I skipped a question here. Did we skip? There we go. Just kind of following along here. I'm always very organized with my list here. My mom was a teacher, so when I went to college, I thought, maybe I'll be a teacher. You look at your parents and you think that's something that maybe I would enjoy doing. And not long into it, I realized I don't think teaching is maybe really for me. So I changed my mind, and I think it's okay to change your mind, because a lot of times there's people that are well into their 30s and 40s, 50s that don't even know what they want to do with their career. So I switched to communications, and I was glad that I did. And it's kind of a funny story behind my career in credit unions. Straight out of college, I was hired with what I thought maybe was a summer job or just a couple of months just to kind of be employed. And I was hired as the loan officer, as I told you earlier. And, little did I know that I would spend 30 years of my whole entire career in the credit union industry. I never thought in a million years that this would be what my path was, and in terms of education, I'm a firm believer you never, ever, ever stop learning. It's really important. In this industry, I have a ton of training, anything from finance and credit to management, just day-to-day HR items in the human resources field. And of course, leadership, as a leader of this organization, there's all kinds of things that have helped me along the way, be the person that I am today. Again, there's tons of resources out there in every industry. And I always say, please take advantage of them. Whatever is offered to you, take advantage of them and never stop learning. And I would also say that the credit union industry in general, we're a very collaborative bunch. Credit unions, we may be competitive with each other, but we're all very friendly. And I've met a lot of peers through the years, whether it's CEOs or people in similar roles that I've served through the years. And I've learned so much from them, and I still rely on them. I'll still reach out to them, ask them questions. And, that's those types of relationships, never stop asking for their assistance because that's sometimes they're the best. They're the best relationships, and they sometimes offer the best advice because they're in your shoes doing the same thing that you're doing every day. So very, very valuable. Yeah, advice and guidance from all of them. I never stop learning. So
You know, it's funny. As I mentioned at the top of this video, this is a series of, and we're doing about 16 of them. And so far, in one way or another, sometimes very specifically, no matter the industry, whether it's arts, accounting, construction, whatever it is, the lifelong learning theme has come up multiple times. So that's great advice and very consistent. And I'm hoping everyone watching this is understanding that it's just because you're done your formal schooling, high school or indoor college, it doesn't end there. So that's great.
there, you got it.
So you touched on this a little bit. What are some, in your opinion, what are some personality traits or characteristics of people that are pretty successful in your field?
Well, if you ever get a chance to do Strength Finders, Clifton Strength Finders, we recently did an exercise with our management team, and it's a Strength Finders test, and it's kind of to figure out, what's your top 5 strengths. So I always look at this opportunity as a gift because you may think you have certain strengths that get you through every day, but until you actually go through this exercise, it's pretty cool. It helps us to find the best of all of our differences because a team is made up of all kinds of different people, different traits and different skill sets. And a good team, relies on all the talents of others to fill in those gaps. I might be strong in this area and this person's strong in this area. And together we can do really great things. A great team with differences, it makes us be successful. It helps us meet our goals. So for me, as I went through this process, I felt pretty. I was happy with the answers. I felt like it really aligned with me. So according to Strength Finders, I'll touch on that first. I'm considered to be a maximizer, which basically means I push for things to move from good to great. So I felt that was true in my role. I'm always pushing and energizing our teams to continue to meet our goals. I'm strategic. I sort through the clutter on a daily basis, and I try weighing out different options to come out with a really good solution in the end. And I think that's definitely a part of who I am every day. Positive. That's another one of my traits. I agree with this. My glass is always pretty half full, and I'm a positive person. And that's another one of my traits.
I agree with that one as well.
I'm a relator. Thank you. I'm a relator, which relator was something I didn't really know what it meant, but it means that I find I have close relationships with others, and I agree with that. In my personal life, my husband and I have a small group of close friends that we do things with consistently, and I'm a fairly social person for the most part. So, and the last thing in the top 5, I gave us the top 5 was communicator. It basically says I don't mind speaking in public. I know how important communication is and making sure you share things with people. It also says I don't mind speaking in public, which for the most part, I don't mind speaking in public, but once in a while you get a little nervous. I think that's a pretty normal thing. So anyway, those were Strength Finders. Other traits I'll share that I think are really important to be successful in my role. As I said earlier, having a great attitude. They always say your attitude determines your altitude. That was one of my favorite quotes from many years ago. Other characteristics, I'm pretty goal driven. I'm responsible for all of our goals. So I'm goal driven and competitive in a good way, not a bad way, in a good way. I'm a good mediator. When you're in a management role day to day, dealing with various human resources situations, you got to be a good mediator, be that calm, cool presence as you're going through the process. I think I'm pretty creative. I'm on our marketing committee and I work with a team of people to come up with our promotions. So I think I feel pretty creative some days, most days, I should say. Um, and I think in the financial services industry, you have to be very detail oriented and organized
Yes.
because we're audited and it's a financial
Right.
services industry. So the details matter, and that's another really important trait.
Great. Yeah, that sounds, I mean, that's obviously very, very consistent and helps with a lot of industries, but yeah, certainly in financial services, very detail oriented, and like you said, building those personal relationships. I think genuinely caring about the person who might be coming in for a loan across the desk or coming in to make deposits. So that's no, that's great. What would you say is the best part about your job? And again, knowing you're an optimist, you'll probably have a lot of things to to add. But what would you say is the best part about your job?
When I saw you presented with this question earlier, I thought that's easy. I didn't really even have to think twice about it. And the best part of my job, in all of my years, is helping our members succeed. And that's probably why I love my job so much. It goes back to our mission of people helping people. Through the years, I have a ton of stories that I could share and tell you of how we've helped people with their finances. You get out of bed every day and you say, I get to go to a job where we have really good rates, really good promotions, um, really good, products and services that we offer our members, and helping our members succeed. Like I said, that's so rewarding for all of us that work here at First Capital. It's in our DNA. I'd like to say. Again, we have all of those services, including all of the technology that you need, because in this day and age, people want to do their banking in their pajamas at home whenever they feel it's best to take care of those daily responsibilities. So we have everything that they need, and that feels really good to be able to offer all of those products and services. And when I look back through my career, it's been very long. I I look back because I don't think that I would ever get a gold medal for coming up with some really wonderful HR solution or decision. And I look back and I think, gosh, they don't offer my organization or my career path an Oscar for some great loan promotion, right? But I say even better than that, an Oscar or gold medal, even better than that, we get to help our members every single day. I hear so many wonderful stories of people reaching out and saying, thank you. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for saving me money every month. Thank you for helping finance my dreams, whether it's a startup business. Um, you know, in my opinion, that's our gold medal. That makes me feel good. That makes me get out of bed every day and look forward to coming to my job. It's a really good feeling to be able to help someone fulfill their financial dreams. That's our gold medal.
Yeah,
Um,
the awards out there in the community. If you see that business open and flourishing, and maybe other businesses coming out of that and hiring
yes,
employees, and have people have jobs and they're providing for families, so it's a multiplier effect. So yeah, that's I can absolutely
definitely.
understand that.
Definitely. It's really important, always see the good in people. It's important for us to reward our employees. If we reward them and celebrate them and thank them, something as simple as just saying thank you for your hard work, they appreciate that, because if you're ever in a role someday where you're in a management position, if you keep your employees happy, that in turn, they're going to make your members happy. So it's just really part of your culture, and it's a really important part of your culture. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, I hate to flip the script a little bit and go a little negative, but what would you say? We talked about all the great things. What would you say is one of the most challenging parts of your job, or maybe just the industry in general?
There's a couple challenges. I mean, none of us. I mean, I say I love my job, and but it's not always rainbows and sunshine, and there's always challenges in any job. That's just the reality. But you have to figure out how to work through those challenges. That's the important thing. I would say a couple of areas in particular in the finance industry. Compliance is a big one. Compliance is always changing, and so we have to be resilient and learn to roll with these changes. We could be working on 5 different projects at one time, and all of a sudden this new compliance requirement is presented before us. And we just, I told you we're a people helping people industry. We want to help people make loans and do all the fun stuff that comes with the job. But sometimes with compliance, you pull away key resources, it takes time and all of those things to keep up with the compliance world. So that's always something that it's a challenge, but we work through it. We have a great team, and we make sure these items get completed. Um, Other challenges, as you know, 2020 has been a pretty challenging year for so many. Some industries have been impacted and harder hit than others. Um, the financial services industry is considered an essential business. So we've been working the whole time. We've been here the whole time through this pandemic, and just helping people through their challenges and trying to pay their bills or figure out ways just to kind of keep their head above water. And a challenge, hearing those sad stories from some of those of our members, it's really heartbreaking. Our piece is knowing that we have solutions for them, before they turn their car back in that they have financed, or say, I can't live in this house anymore because it's too expensive. We have offered them so many solutions to help them through this. And it's heartbreaking, but turning the spin to the positive, we've been able to help them tremendously. Technology is another challenge. We want to make sure we have the latest and the greatest technology to help our members. Technology is expensive. We have great technology, but it comes with a price tag. So that's a challenge. And I would say the last challenge, or the last big challenge, is cybersecurity and fraud. Huge challenge in our industry. We saw quite a bit of it this year through the pandemic. Unfortunately, during desperate times and challenging times, the bad people are out there finding ways to scam people. And so we're constantly investing in our security tools to kind of help us get through it. So that's definitely another challenge that's every single day, every single minute of every single day, we're fighting that one.
In terms of, since the majority of people watching this, or the intended audience rather, is going to be mostly high school students, in the next 1 to 5 years, what do you think the career outlook is looking like in the industry? You think there'll be a need to hire some people in the next 1 to 5 years?
Yeah, you probably think of a financial services industry and you think, oh, tellers. There's so many careers in our industry that you maybe didn't even know existed. So we are constantly, we're growing. They always say if you're not growing, you're dying. First Capital is growing. We've been very successful. In terms of our competition, our competition sometimes is a bigger bank that has impersonal service and more fees and all of that. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to come to a credit union, because we have a lot of great things to offer. But in our industry, you may not know, and every year we're hiring folks, of course, on the teller line. Accounting, we have a lot of accounting positions here. Of course, you're in the financial services sector, so accounting is really important. IT, we have a big information technology department to help us with all of those challenges that I mentioned earlier. Marketing, business development, human resources, of course, any kind of management role. So yeah, people don't always realize that. They think of, going to your local financial institution and cashing your check or withdrawing money. But it's a very robust sector of different sectors coming together in the financial services sector. So people don't always realize that. But if you may not go to school for finance, but you may end up working in a bank or a credit union. You never know.
Great. Yeah, a lot of times we just kind of focus on the front facing, like who are we actually seeing and interacting with. We don't always realize everything going on behind the scenes to make everything work smoothly.
It takes a village.
It certainly does. So keeping in mind, again, who our target audience is here, final question. If you had one piece of advice that you would give a high school student who might be looking to get into this industry, what do you think that would be?
Find someone that works in this industry and ask questions. Ask a lot of questions, and eventually, maybe that person can end up being your mentor. If you decide to go into this industry and you think, what, this sounds like a really cool, future for me. I like numbers. I like all of that. you find that mentor and tap their mind, you ask them questions and kind of, use them as you move forward in your career. First Capital, for example, is very, very involved in financial literacy, working with YCAL, of course. And we work with almost every school district, I think, here in York County, teaching financial literacy. And we love to do that. So if you ever see us in one of your schools, reach out to us. Our team loves to talk about credit and finance and anything associated with that. So that's really important. And from my experience, I said I've been in this industry a very long time. When I think about employees that have either come right out of high school or went to college and came to us after college, I think about the best employee in my experience. They're voracious in learning. They thrive on new ideas. They get excited about new ideas. They raise their hand and they say, "Get me involved. I want to be involved. I want to be engaged." And they just they're the best. They're the best kind of employees. They just want to jump right in, roll up their sleeves, and help get the job done. So, in my experience, they're the best kind of employees, and it's kind of a combination of different skill sets, in that type of person. So, but from my experience, that's the best kind of employee that's in this industry.
Great. Sue, thank you so much for your time today. That is the 10 questions. We got through all of them. So I just want to say thank you so much for taking some time to speak to us today. And I really appreciate everything you do at First Capital and also everything First Capital does for the community. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Kevin. It's been an honor to be here, and good luck to all you high school students. You'll find something that you love, I'm sure.
All right. Thanks, Sue.